Manu propria. Propria. Our own hand. Although, translated, the context means a lot in things. Or the very hand. It could be the very hand as well. This is the bathhouse. This part of the tunnel has collapsed. We're not getting to the Mithraeum this way. I think... Yes, Gaspar and I found a collapsed section of the aqueduct near town. We didn't find out what was on the other side. I wouldn't let him explore it. I should have taken more care of him. I'm sorry. We can go. So that means that if he had explored, he might have seen the bathhouse, or might have seen what we're about to see. The decoration. These must have been the baths. It doesn't look like there's a way through. Silt. All the floods kept carrying it down here. Hundreds of years of floods. What if we can't get through? What if it's buried forever? It's too early to get this discouraged. Come on. Let's keep looking. Oh. More stairs. Down? Would something be below the baths? A hippocaust. They use warm air to heat the rooms above. Roman colonies in the north often have them. Let's hope those haven't filled with silt as well. This is weird. These are columns, I think. Do you know where we're going? These pillars kind of go on in all directions. Andreas, could you look that way? I think I'm going to try exploring ahead. Of course. Oh, well, we're controlling Andreas now. Wow. Oh! Lorenz. Oh, these are ghosts. How could you abandon your work, Andreas? I thought you were a true artist, a master of your craft. Didn't read the thing. The only thing more pitiful than watching your work in that scriptorium was your love of that dying art. Oof. I thought you understood what I was forced to do. Your callousness killed us all, says Hannah. Oh, it's shaking so much. I'm having a heart attack. Master, why did you send me back into the flames, says Gaspar. Holy crap. Oh no, yeah, he's dying. No. No, this isn't right. Oh, he passed out. Something happened. I can't believe... I can't be here now. How did I get here? Andreas. You're still here? Yes, for a little longer. You're leaving? I am the last vestige of reason that once ruled this court. When it goes, I will go with it. But who will rule the city if you leave? No one. She's called Melancholia, by the way. Not Beatrice. You must leave this place forever, Andreas. You must abandon it for good. But how? What can I do? I don't even know how I got here. This was once a place of refuge. For you, Andreas. But it has become a prison. A prison you constructed to protect yourself. From what? From pain. From risk. From life itself. But I can't stay here. I have to help Magdalene. How do I get out? Andreas, you are the architect. I will help you as best I can, but you are the only one who can answer that. What? I'm trapped in the center. Oh, I'm not trapped in the center. Oh. No, I am trapped in the center. Wait. Oh, no. It's the other way around. Right. Hello, Andreas. Is that You, Shabin. Yes, of course. I'm still here. Part of me will always be here with you. We haven't talked in so long. Why? You reminded me of August. Remind me? It wasn't all bad, Andreas. We lost him. We had 4 years together. They were happy years, weren't they? It's hard to remember. This great black pain blots out all of the joy. I know. It was hard for both of us. I don't blame you for anything. And you should stop blaming yourself. It may be too late for us, but it's not too late for you, Andreas. It's not too late for Magdalene. Yes, Magdalene. I have to help her. You can, Andreas, but you have to leave this place behind for good. I know. I can. I will. You will. Thank you, Shabin. Will I ever see you again? Not in this place. But maybe someday. In a better place. In a better dream. Master Andreas? Oh. Gaspar. It's really you. It's so good to see you again, Master. How can you say that? You died because of me. I just wanted to help you, Master Andreas. You couldn't think straight. You shouldn't blame yourself anymore. I let my family down. I let you down. I couldn't stop Peter. Couldn't save Tassing. I couldn't even save more than a armful of books. You did what you could, Master. Everyone knows you did. And that's all any of us can do. All right, Gaspar. Thank you. Thank you for everything you taught me. Wait, what happened? This was the way out. Before I started talking to Gaspar, I know this was the way out. This is Beatrice again. Your mind is fighting itself, Andreas. It remembers the pain of life. It's trying to protect you from it. Beatrice? Yes? I thought you were gone. You brought me back. Oh. So, what do I do now? Keep going. Keep going as in here? No, I think I need to go back. But there's no way back. What? Is it through here? No. Oh, this path opened. It's August again. He never talks. You too? It's been so many nights, so many years without seeing your face. I thought I had forgotten it. I knew you were still here, though. Quietly waiting for me. I can't change the past. Can't cover it up. It's always there under the surface, no matter how hard or how I try to bury it. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. It's all right. What? It's all right, Daddy. It is? You don't have to hide here anymore. I'm scared, August. I know. But that's why you can't stay. There are people who need you. It's so hard to let you go. I know, Daddy. But you have to. I know. You're right. Thank you. I love you, Daddy. I love you too. Good night, August. Good night. They shifted again. The walls. It's important to... I think August never replied when he said goodnight. Right? Was that what happened before? That goodnight, August, and the goodnight. He never got that, I don't think. I'm still trying to protect you, says Beatrice. No, it's not. No, I mean, no, I don't have to do this. This is my mind, my maze. I'm leaving. Good. But this next part might be confusing. What? I don't understand. I don't understand any of this. Did I make this? You borrowed it. From where? From what? There are layers to everything, even our memories. Over time, the foundations become buried. We can no longer recall how we got there. No longer recall what came before. And what came before. Our Lady, watching over the labyrinth, as I watch over you. And even this has roots that reach deep into the past. There was not always a lady to watch over the labyrinth, but there was a labyrinth. What? I don't understand. Sister Emily. Is this real? Am I still in my mind? You are here with me, and we are here in spirit. Are we still in the ruins? We are in the tabernacle, the heart of the labyrinth. Your spirit was wandering, and the Lord brought you here. But I don't understand. How did you leave your cell? I have not. We are only here in spirit, Andreas. I'm seeing things. This can't be real. It can't be. Realms of the spirit are as real as those of the flesh. Have faith. If you are here with me, it is the Lord's will. Andreas, Sister Emily? What are you doing here, sister? This is the center of the labyrinth, the tabernacle. It is where the Lord sends my spirit to do his will. He has also guided your spirits here. There must be a purpose to it. No, this isn't my spirit. I walked here through the aqueduct. You are confused, Magdalene. It's understandable. My own visions have perplexed me for all my life. Even though this seems strange, even though it is a place of spirit, it is very real. My Lord has called me to this place for many years. He has always made his will known to me. Soon he will make it known to you. Sister, how does your spirit come to this place? Through the door between life and death. When my spirit hears the call, it descends through my grave. Here the Lord tells me what messages I must bear, and to whom. You deliver messages. Yes, once, long ago, I was a scribe. I copied many works of the great church doctors, Origen in particular. But that all ended with a fire. It ended with my life. Wait. I thought I had given up the pen forever, until the visions returned. No! When fire took my abbey, I couldn't save my sisters. Not one. All I could grab was a single book and a bolt of cloth. I couldn't understand why God had spared me alone. But he showed me. God had a higher purpose for me, for my hand. Father Thomas explained it to me. He makes everything clear. He tells me what I must do, what the Lord wills me to do. It was you. This whole time you wrote the notes. I found one by my dad when he was attacked. Sister Emily, you pushed those people into committing murder. What? No. That can't be true. The Lord would not use me for such a purpose. But that's what happened, sister. You wrote those notes. And people were murdered because of them. No, I wouldn't. He wouldn't. There was nothing in his messages about murder. No, I'm not here. I can't... This can't be happening. This can't be happening. Sister Emily, shh, it's all right. Father Thomas, how did you get down here? Tassing is an old place. It's buried many ancient roads and tunnels over the years, centuries. People walk above the hidden ways every day without even knowing it. Though in truth it was Sister Emily who rediscovered them first and found this place. Father Thomas, did you... In other circumstances, I would be overjoyed to see you, Andreas. In truth, I am still happy you are alive, thank God. But I think the occasion of this reunion leaves little to rejoice about. You and Sister Emily were behind all the murders? No, she had no part in this. But the notes, she wrote them. She did, but she did not understand their purpose. I guided her. I told her what to write. To what end? What was the point of all this? Look around you. What do you see? Roman ruins? Look closer. It looks like the statue of St. Moritz from the meadow. And the images of St. Satya from the shrine. I don't understand. It's St. Moritz and St. Satya, and Mars and Diana. The saints are the gods? When the Romans left Tassing, their buildings, their temples, their statues remained. Christians settled here centuries later. They found time-worn fragments of that imperial grasp. The statue of Mars Pater, Father Mars, that once watched over the Roman fields, stood there still, headless and nameless. And that's the head of St. Moritz. That's the head of St. Moritz. That one line. There it is. That's the head. That's why Otto was killed. The settlers believed it was St. Moritz, who was already a legend where they had came from. They found the shrines to Satya, and not understanding she was an aspect of Diana, believed she was another local saint. So people turned them into saints? Sanctity and sainthood exist outside of what people believe, Magdalene. People cannot turn someone into a saint any more than they can unmake the divinity of Christ. But they knew of the saints and learned local legends of the region and applied them to the figures they found here. No one knew they were Roman gods because there was no account of what the Romans did and left here. Except for Historia Tassii. But Historia Tassii was not known then. Perhaps it had not even been written then. Who knows how long that book had been lost before it made its way to Father Matthias. And you killed him for it. Yes. With poison. No one suspected. He died of poison and no one suspected? It must have been quite subtle. His death was unexpected, but I was the only person he confided in about what he had read in Historia Tassii. Then Father Matthias learned that there was no evidence that St. Moritz had ever come to Tassing. That the shrine to him in the meadow was a statue of Mars that the Romans had erected hundreds of years ago. That Saint Satya was the Roman goddess Diana. He resolved to deal with it. And you resolved to deal with him. Andreas, our people believe in St. Moritz. They believe in the miracles God has worked through his hand. And they believe in the legend of Saint Satya, that she helped Moritz and watches over Tassing still. Why does it matter if they were wrong, if the saints weren't here? Then what does that mean for the hand of St. Moritz? What does it mean for the people who prayed to him, to St. Satya, and believed their prayers were answered? What does it mean for the church that has given people hope, fixed like a false star in a dark sky? If the people have reason to doubt the validity of the saints, can they doubt the church? This is interesting here, because the game actually weaves in the specific notion that the saints weren't here as part of the justification for his motive to kill, or rather for his reason of fears and all that sort of stuff. In reality, he's also, or in the text, is also appealing to the fact that the statues weren't built to depict Satya and Moritz, but rather were built to depict Diana and Mars, and that also being a problem. He's making that point. In reality, that exclusively would be a huge problem. People treat, historically speaking, and modern day as well, Christians treat the statues as the saint itself, and especially from a folklore perspective, the fact that the sort of supernaturalness of the statue itself is very, very important to the cult of specific saints. And it's not that the statue can't change, or you can't, imagine, oh, this is the statue of Mars, let's make a new one, and then it's the new saint, right? And they would specifically call it the new saint, even though it is the same name. They would call it the new Saint Moritz or whatever. People have no problem idolatrizing, or historically speaking, and in modern day as well, Christians have no problem idolatrizing the specific statues. And so the supernatural identity of the statue here is very important. But because this is also written for a non-believer audience, when I say non-believer, maybe that's not being... No, it's not really what I'm trying to say. For an agnostic audience, in the sense, again, that's difficult to say. For people who aren't of the same religious persuasion of these specific Christians in the specific type of cult, and there are people like that today. In fact, here in Portugal, for example, there's a lot of Christians that have the same attitude as the people in Tassing, and the same beliefs and the same sort of canonical structure to their beliefs. So those people would relate well enough to this story, but the story is also written for people who have a different attitude towards their Christianity, or that are not Christians themselves, or are atheists, or are agnostic. So it still allows for that sort of relationship, and for his arguments to be not necessarily grounded in religion, but just sort of more of a pragmatic aspect. The fact that it's the saints that weren't here, rather than, oh, the statues were actually made for something else, which is, pragmatically speaking, a bullshit reason to have fears here. Because who cares if the statue was used for something else? You use the statue as a tool, rather, pragmatically speaking, that is, you use the statue as a tool for prayer, rather than or as a reminder of a sort of a more ethereal reality of your religion, rather than necessarily the statue being the identity itself. But the problem is, something specifically, historically speaking, here in Tassing, people would see the statue as the saint itself, and would see the hand as the divinity, rather than sort of the symbol of the divinity, which is sort of a post hoc rationalization of the way Christian cults exist and have existed throughout history. But that's a little bit of an aside. It's just I feel that it's very interesting because I think it's very consciously written like that, to be more general, to make him not as to make his motives for murder not as grounded in religion, because that would make him even more hateful than he is right now. If the motives were grounded in religion. And I think it would be more hateful in the sense that obviously it would make him a murder for religious motives exclusively, rather than just sort of what he's appealing to right now, which is more of a pragmatic attitude towards the murders, which I think make him a little bit more nuanced. He's still a monster for many reasons, and reasons that we have seen. You would have still been a monster anyway, even if you weren't the murderer. But yeah. Can they doubt the gospel, the word of God? Do you have so little faith in ordinary people, Father Thomas? I have faith in God. And I have seen firsthand what can happen when people become disconnected from our God. When people believe that all just authority is false, that their own education and reason are superior to divine truth. You've always told us that we have to accept Christ with our own free will. Yes, of course, but preserving the legends of our saints doesn't interfere with individual volition. You are preserving a lie. I preserved a lie to illuminate greater truth. God so loved the world that he gave his only Son. If you believe this, if you truly believe this, eternal life is yours. And saints have walked among us, and their relics work miracles, and they hear our prayers and answer them. And the two that protect this town were never here. They don't need to know that, Andreas. There are times when God feels so far away from us in these mountains. But a peasant in Tassin can stand in a field, look over our valley, and say, St. Moritz was here. God was with us, and he is with us still, and he will be with us always. And that is the truth, even if the legend of St. Moritz is a lie. So many people have died because of what you've done. I know this is hard to believe, but I was trying to save lives to prevent death. But one murder didn't solve the problem, did it? Because one day Baron Rothvogel rode into town with another copy of History Tasse. A copy he promised to give to the abbot so Kirsau could come to terms with its past. And if Father Thomas read its contents, you would be facing the same danger you saw in Father Matthias. In retrospect, given how Father Journeau chose to run the abbey, my fears may have been unfounded. That sentiment didn't prevent you from doing it again. You're right, it didn't. But then why Otto? Certainly he didn't have anything to do with Historias Tassii. He couldn't even read. In the end, his murder provoked Peter and the others into destroying the abbey. I never thought that would happen. I underestimated Peter's anger and the peasants' frustration. So you killed him to prevent an uprising, but it caused it instead? Someone else killed him, as someone else killed Baron Rothvogel. And it wasn't to prevent an uprising, but to stop him from showing people what he found. Yeah, the head of St. Moritz. Also, this someone else, I believe, was the wife of the miller. Then he controlled it. Maybe. He probably did. What he found when he was helping to dig the foundation of the rat house. Something from our pagan ancestors? No, not quite so old. What he found was a stone head. The missing head of the statue in the meadow, the statue of the shrine of St. Moritz. How did it wind up here? There, I should say. Most likely culprits are the rain, floods, and time. Black Till told me that farmers find old tools and pottery in the fields every year. Yes, and this had remained hidden for centuries. It sat in the soil until Odo found it. And he was going to show everyone that God had favored the town with his discovery. What Odo could not know is that our shrine's statue was not of St. Moritz, because Odo could not read the words chiseled across the helmet, Mars Pater. But the man he entrusted with this information, the town priest, could. Yes, and you told him to meet you on St. John's Eve at the rat house. I could not let him destroy our town's beliefs. And you had poor Sister Emily write down what you told her were visions she couldn't remember, and deliver them in the dead of night to Gui, to Anna, to Martin, so that one of them would murder Odo, just as someone murdered Lawrence. What about my father? I'm sorry, Magdalene. I've lived next to you my whole life. How could you? None of this was easy for me. Yeah, I'm sure it was very hard on you. I always thought I was doing what needed to be done. Was it because of the mural? Yes. Klaus pursued the project with the determination of a guilty man doing penance. He kept digging and digging for answers about Tassin's past, Kirsau's past. I was afraid that sooner or later he would find out about Moritz and Satya, this place, everything. So you tried to kill him? No, I tried to scare him. First with a note, but he ignored it. I thought if I ransacked the workshop, it would scare him off. I didn't expect him to come down so quickly. It was just an accident. It wasn't just an accident. You almost killed him. You did kill him. I know. So what are you going to do now? Kill me? kill Magdalene. No, of course not. I have neither the means nor the will to do so. But even if I can't stop you from telling people what I've done, I can stop them from finding this place. What are you doing? Burying the past. Even if it destroys the church above us. Oh, that's why the foundations were... Yeah, that's why I didn't care so much about the foundations. That we didn't know this was beneath the church, but there it is. That's that thing. That's that thing with the... Oh, and that's how it probably connects to Lucky. Lucky wanting to do the foundations. And getting him out of the way. Yep, there it is. Even if it destroys the church above us, I'll make sure no one ever sees this place. Father, you're going to kill us all. You're going to kill Emily. Then leave and take her with you. You can tell the townsfolk what you want, but if you stay here, we'll die together. You can stop people from learning the truth. Maybe, but I have to try. Father, go! Are you all right? I think so. You? In truth, no. But I survived. And so did she. They must have heard that at the Golden Hand. Of course. What are we going to tell them? What do you mean? About this? About everything? Why wouldn't we just tell them the truth? For the same reason Father Thomas hid it? You can't be serious. I know I'm not of a healthy mind, but just listen to me. What good will it do to tell everyone about St. Moritz and St. Satya? Maybe Father Thomas was right about that, if nothing else. Maybe we would break their faith. I think he's wrong. I think the people here have enough faith to hear the truth. You know them better than I do, especially since I've been away for so long. You came back after all this time to solve this, but it's hard to feel like we actually accomplished anything. Are we any better off than we were this morning? Father Thomas won't be able to hurt anyone else. Maybe he never would have. I think you're right. We should tell them. About the saints, the Romans, all of it. I hate that doing the right thing feels so awful. I'm sorry. I am too. But I still think it's what we need to do. Then we'll tell them. Good. We should get Sister Amelie someplace warm. We can take her to my house. You'll probably have some explaining to do. A lot, I think. It's been a long time coming. I'm glad you didn't die in that fire. I am too, I think. Merry Christmas, Andreas. Merry Christmas. That's quite an ending. Interesting. And that's really interesting. It connects everything. And it's satisfying, I think. Oh? Magdalene, you made it back. Andreas and Sister Amelie and I all made it back. Sister Amelie? Was she in the church? I heard a terrible din and the house shook. Is everything all right? I don't think so, Dad. But it will be. Are you all right, Dad? Yes. I'm sorry. Just tired. Sit by me. Tell me what happened. It started in the rat house. Well, the rat skeller. Did you know the back wall was part of the old Roman aqueduct? So we went into the aqueduct. The section we found must have been closed off for centuries. We found an old Roman bathhouse. We couldn't go through, so we found our way down to a level under the baths. I think Andrea said it was a hypocaust. Andreas got separated from me. I was really afraid I'd lost him, that we'd both gotten lost down there. But then I heard his voice off in the distance, and I was so Dad? Are you still listening? It's spring. Almost 4 months after. I know it's hard, writes Esther. I mean, I can only imagine how hard it is. But we all will do our best to make you feel welcome when you get here. It's strange to think that this will probably be the last letter I send to you. So I'll end it with my love. Esther. I think she's moving out. Is she moving out? Ignacio is here. Magdalene? Insipid. Does that mean insipid? I don't think it does. Maybe it doesn't. Yes? I'm sorry to disturb you, but I wanted to let you know that everything is in order. Baltej has ensured that all the financial matters will be handled. The money will be forwarded to you via the Reich Post as soon as everything is settled. Oh, I appreciate it. Please thank him for me. Thank him for everything. Of course, Mr. Stuckerin. I did not know your father well, but I know that he was well regarded by everyone who spoke to him. It seems that Tassing has lost many things in one man. I'm very sorry. Thank you. Good fortune to you. That painting right there. We were in front of it, I think. Yeah. Veronica. And Otz, Sister Gertrude. Are you sure you have everything you need, Magdalene? I think so. Thank you. I made you something to take with you on the road. It's chamomile, cinnamon, and wheat flour. If you're traveling and you're having cramps... Oh, I know, I'll use it. Well, Hildegard's recipe just called for chamomile and wheat flour. I added the cinnamon for taste. I'm so sorry about what happened to your father. Thank you. Mother Francisca had us all say prayers for him. And for you as well, when she heard you were leaving. Really, that's so sweet. Please thank her for me. I will. We'll all miss you so much, Magdalene. I'll miss you too. God bless you. Safe travels. Veronica? Magdalene, I can't believe you're really leaving. You should come visit me. The farthest I've ever been is the Mittenwald market, so I don't think that's very likely. The Mittenwald is a small municipality known for its transalpine routes between Augsburg, Innsbruck, and Milan. Massive amounts of coin and trade pass through Mittenwald each year. Write to us, though, says Eva. We want to learn about your new life. I will, I promise. You're a special girl, Magdalene Druckerin. I understand why you're leaving. God knows you have good cause. But Tassing won't be the same without you. Safe travels and God bless you. Oh, look at the church. We have a new father as well. Otz? Hey, Mags. Otto, I'm really sorry about your dad. He was always nice to me. My mother says he was a good man. She's right. Well, thanks. I should get going. Max! Magdalene. You sure you don't want to marry me? It's a little late for that, don't you think? Right. I just didn't want to spend the rest of my life wondering if I should have asked. You know? Look after your mother, Otz. Elias. Good morning, Mr. Stukarin. Are you off soon? Yes, Father. Just saying my last few farewells. Of course. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to know you or your father. God rest his soul. I am too. Don't let those bohemians put any heretical ideas in your head. Once their pernicious seeds take root, they can choke the faith right out of you. I don't know, Father. I've heard they have some interesting ideas. All right, young lady. Just because I'm new here doesn't mean you should tease me. God bless you, Father Elias. God bless you and your travels. God bless you as well, Sister Emily. Are you leaving today? She's writing now with all purple. I am. I'm just heading up the hill, to the mill in a bit. I'm so sorry for everything that happened. Your home was destroyed. True. And your church. But I have lost my home before. I will find another. It is strange, though, standing in the light after all these years. Thank you for helping me. Do you know what you'll do now? Will you become an anchoress again? I don't know, honestly. Father Elias is trying to help me, but I need to learn to rely on my own judgment a little more. It's going to take a long time to atone for my part in what happened. Perhaps the rest of my life. You were tricked. We all were. Even so, I must make amends. I'm writing an account of what happened here, as well as I can remember it anyway. If it is not enough to earn forgiveness, I pray that it will at least illuminate this history of great darkness. Good. It's worth remembering. God bless you, Sister Emily. God bless and keep you safe on your travels, Magdalene. So we can go east. Oh no, we can't. Not really. Just to see the church and all that. Let's go up the mill. Say goodbye to the best family. Elsie. No, you, Elsie. You're not the best. Magdalene, is it? It is. Time for me to leave. Good. Get out before this cursed town swallows you. Tassing will bring you nothing but anguish and misery. I hope one day you'll find a path out of your sorrow. God willing, though I am doubtful. Stay safe on the road. These are still dangerous times. We'll be fine. Look after your family. Paul, Anna, and your grandkids still need you. I'll do what I can. They are what little I have left. Without them, never mind. Godspeed, Magdalene. Andreas. He's looking better. Are you sure I look all right? Of course, Andreas. You look perfectly respectable. You're a little worse for wear, but a good sight better than you were. It was kind of the women to help clean me up. I'm afraid I'd have forgotten how to look after myself. Some would say you took care of yourself quite admirably. How many men here could have survived in a burned-out cellar for the better part of 20 years? Subsisting on our discarded rye, no less. I'm sorry about that. Andreas, we already told you it's all right now. Magdalene. Hello, Magdalene. Are you off soon? Hello. Yes, I'm riding with your flower to Mittenwald and then down to Isar. I'm sorry to see you go, Magdalene. But I hope Prague is everything you've dreamed of. If it's half the city Esther describes, I'm sure I'll love it. You have a chance to make a life of your own there. God knows I've squandered so much of mine. Use the time you have and use it well. I will. I don't know how, but I will. I wish you could have seen it, Andreas. I know. It would have loved it. I hope so. Magdalene, if angels carried him down to bear witness, the heavenly host would have wept at it. Now you're just trying to make me feel better. He was always proud of you, and he would still be. Magdalene, I wanted to ask you something about the mural before you go. I thought it was supposed to cover the whole wall. Why did you leave a section blank? For the future. Unless history is going to stop in passing the moment I roll down the road. I think your wagon is about to leave. Oh, it is. It hardly feels like enough time, says Anna. Thank you for everything you did for me and my family. God bless you, Andreas Mahler. Andreas? Are you alright? I'm lost. That's alright. You're welcome to stay with us for as long as you need. Besides, you can't leave yet. The children require your expertise. Oh? Yeah, they're up on the mill, the walkway. I'll have supper ready when you're done. Just remember that you're always welcome in our home, Andreas. Thank you. And we control Andreas. Oh, look at them. Drawing all of the things. I was gonna say we never saw the mural. It's right here in 3D. Oh, the Christian settling. And the big tree. The oak tree. Yeah. An auto. And the speech. And the soldiers. In the church, specifically. With the, of course, with the Roman things. Passing to Prague. There's a genealogy tree. Kranker Peter Gertner. Grosser York. That's Big York. Ursula. Václav. Why is Václav being burned at the cross? Or burned at the stake? I don't understand that. That must mean something. This must mean maybe the people, like my choices, made these people exist or not. That's the hand of St. Moritz right there. Oh, Andreas drew this. And there it is. Pentiment, ladies and gentlemen and beautiful people. Completely silent credits as well, interestingly enough. Yeah, this is it's a really interesting, mechanically speaking, it's really interesting the way they weave into a whodunit, into multiple choices that reward replayability. It's so nuancedly written. It works so well. It's difficult. I imagine it was difficult to come up with a story that works well. I mean, this story, getting it to work well, I mean, to say, in modern day, considering it's so rooted in Christian, well, in a Christian society, really, but it works without that, I think, which I think is very meritorious, in the sense that it allows this sort of story to be told to somebody who isn't of this sort of cult sort of. When I say the word cult, I mean the cult of the saints, rather than necessarily like a cult or like a sect sort of thing. Even though those are the terms, but it's just they carry heavy connotations. I'm not trying to disparage in this. I'm not trying to disparage this sort of religious attitude. I'm just saying that it's written on purpose to be to everybody, which I find to be very, very good. It is a story about ultimately characters, and even though it has the themes of the sort of like grand narratives of like the memory remains sort of like dig deeper, and we're all the root of what came before, even down to nuanced stuff like when I said that I do art for myself, and I don't remember who I was talking to, but it was the musician, I think, and he just said we're all shaped by the people who like people liking or disliking our stuff and shaping our tastes like that. Even though we do things for ourselves, if we do them for ourselves, we still are shaped by that, which I think is insightful, obviously, and it's true. But writing a story about that, I think, is interesting. But I think that is not really what the story is about. It's those are the themes of the story, but the story is ultimately about the characters, and it works really, really well. I think it probably there's some characters that didn't have as much airtime or page time, as it were, in my playthrough, because I made the choices I made. But that's where a multiple playthrough will get you different stories. I think my favorite was still like not not the main characters, and or what I'm trying to say is my favorite characters were NPCs rather than my main character, even though the main character is treated with such character growth and all that, and sort of independence from the player choices. So like there's the opportunity for the player characters to be the best characters, and in this game really doesn't try to do that. It fleshes out the characters, and they're expertly written. Some of the characters are like absolute standouts. I think in the way they're written. Like for example, Hetty, if I remember correctly, she's the one that I praised for sounding like an old woman. In multiple occasions, I think I praised her, but she's just really fun and really interesting, really unique. Anna was also a standout, I think, for me, because of the way she's interplayed into the whole storyline. But I like at the same time, characters like Paul, for example, never really. We didn't really get to see him say things that allowed us to enjoy him as a character. We saw the results of our choices, I think, regarding Paul and his family, but I think more than anything, it just was the storytelling around him that really paid off rather than the writing of his character. But yeah, it's really amazing characters all around. I think I want to play this game again soon, and hopefully I'll do it on camera. I don't know, because this is the sort of game they're playing off camera, just skipping things that you've read already, or yeah, using the wiki for remembering certain details and all that might be really good. I'm looking at a bibliography here, and I'm wondering why it's here, but it's interesting that a game has bibliography. So there it is. Thank you very much for playing. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. This has been an absolute blast. This is like peak gaming, and I am so glad that Pentiment exists. I'll have to play it again for it to become my favorite game, but it has the potential to become my favorite game, honestly. This game is just incredible, honestly. So, for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Pentiment. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you some other time. Bye-bye.